The one thing that remains constant in life is change. If you fail to recognize this truth, you may find yourself trapped in a state of paradigm blindness, characterized by unbearable cognitive dissonance. That's why it's so important to awaken yourself to the transformative power of paradigm shifts and their revitalizing effects. However, this is not as simple as just flipping a switch. The ultimate goal of enlightenment is to transcend paradigm blindness. Throughout history and across all cultures, there always have been mythological stories that teach this ability to effortlessly shift paradigms. Only dark priests and negative spirits impose inflexible paradigms and encourage paradigm blindness. By the end of this video, you will have a more profound understanding of how you can raise your level of awareness and manifest positive outcomes by changing your paradigm. So listen carefully as I unveil the hidden meanings behind symbolic death and rebirth. A paradigm is essentially a mental map we use to understand the world. Paradigms are like lenses that filter the world for us, making it comprehensible. We develop our paradigms from an early age based on our natural inclinations, family history, and overall cultural surroundings. For example, Jack and Jane used to date for 2 years, but their different paradigms caused problems in their relationship. Jack grew up in a conservative Catholic family and had a conservative Catholic paradigm, while Jane grew up in a liberal hippie family and had a New Age paradigm. Jack's paradigm will compel him to vote for right-wing candidates, while Jane will be more compelled to vote left. When it comes to opinions about culture, Jack is more likely to appreciate the value of Western Judeo-Christian traditions, while Jane will be more open-minded to other traditions from all over the world, like Sufism, Buddhism, or Taoism. Both Jack and Jane are happy with their paradigms because both paradigms are perfectly valid and capable of explaining some aspects of reality. However, conflicts arise between the couple because of their conflicting beliefs. Problems arise when paradigms start to become rigid belief systems with blind spots. Once your paradigm starts to filter out things from your awareness, it creates a distorted and incomplete reality map. This is what's known as cognitive bias or paradigm blindness. To continue with the same example, Jack's paradigm blindness makes Jane's spirituality seem to him as a threat to his Judeo-Christian traditions, while Jane's paradigm blindness makes Jack seem to her as an advocate for an oppressive tradition. Their relationship caused a state of cognitive dissonance for both of them that grew each day much stronger and more unbearable. For now, let's leave Jack and Jane for a while before we return to them again. The kind of negative energy that comes from paradigm blindness is the cause of many social and national conflicts. Some people cannot reconcile their paradigms with those of others, so they resort to negative attitudes, thoughts, and behaviors to deal with them. Pride, hatred, fear, and anger are the manifestations of such negative vibes that stem from this conflict of paradigms. And what makes the situation even worse is the psychopathic leaders and their dark priests who enforce their paradigms with a heavy spirit, leading to inhuman acts, such as the genocidal fascist and communist movements of the 20th century. But let's not delve into that now. So, how can we see beyond our own paradigm blindness? First, you have to acknowledge that your paradigm is not perfect and might need some adjustment. Rigid belief systems turn to paradigm blindness by reinforcing a fixed set of assumptions and limiting your ability to consider alternative viewpoints. To understand the importance of transforming our paradigms, we should turn to ancient symbols of death and rebirth. The phoenix is perhaps the most well-known symbol of death and rebirth. This mythical bird represents the cyclical nature of life and death and its ability to rise from the ashes of its old self to become something new and powerful. In ancient Egyptian mythology, the god Osiris is also a symbol of death and rebirth. He was killed and dismembered by his evil brother Set, but was later resurrected by his wife Isis. This story represents the renewal of life after death and the importance of the cyclical nature of the universe. Similarly, in Hinduism, the god Shiva is often depicted as a symbol of destruction and regeneration. He is responsible for ending the old and bringing forth the new, reminding us that change is an inevitable part of life. In Greek mythology, Dionysus, the god of wine and ecstasy, is often associated with the rebirth and renewal of life. He represents the idea that in order for something new to arise, the old must be sacrificed. In the myth of Dionysus, he is torn apart and then reborn, symbolizing the cyclical nature of life and the need for transformation through sacrifice. And finally, Christ is the most well-known symbol of death and rebirth in the Western world. His death on the cross and subsequent resurrection is central to Christian belief, representing the ultimate sacrifice and the renewal of life. Christ's ability to rise from the dead and ascend to heaven is seen as a testament to power of faith and the promise of eternal life. Through his death and resurrection, Christ offers a path to salvation and the opportunity to be born again as a new creation in him. Just as the phoenix, Osiris, Shiva, and Dionysus represent the cyclical nature of life and the need for transformation through sacrifice, Christ offers a similar message of hope and renewal to those who believe in him. All of these religious stories are commemorated because of their deep symbolic meaning. Their symbolism serves as a reminder that in order for growth and renewal to occur, we must let go of the old and embrace the new. But in order to achieve this ability to access symbolic death and rebirth, which allows us to see beyond our current paradigms and construct new ones, the mind's eye must be opened up first, which is no easy task. In various spiritual and philosophical traditions, the mind's eye is often linked to the third eye chakra, which is believed to be the center of intuition and wisdom. The third eye is also associated with the ability to see beyond the physical realm and to access higher states of consciousness. In Christianity, this level of consciousness is referred to as Christ consciousness. The mind's eye can also be related to metacognition, which is the ability to think about your own thinking processes. When we use our mind's eye, we are engaging in mental visualization and creating mental images that we can use to manipulate and explore information. This requires us to be aware of our own thought processes and to be able to analyze and reflect on the mental images we are creating. The mind's eye sees beyond the filters imposed by our own paradigms. We become aware of our paradigm blindness, which is often hard, if not dangerous. It's hard because it takes a lot of mindfulness practice, meditation, and self-love to raise your vibrations to that level. And it's dangerous because letting the mind's eye see things as they are beyond the surface level often shatters our reality, which is experienced as death of the ego. Essentially, it's a symbolic death and rebirth. While not everyone is capable of handling this challenge, those who eventually do realize that life is a series of self-overcoming journeys, which are all part of a never-ending cosmic symphony. Creating paradigms to navigate reality, only to ditch the ones that no longer work, is a crucial fact of life. Imagine keeping the same paradigm you had as a 9-year-old to your early 20s. It's not healthy living. Living a fulfilling life starts with raising your consciousness to the realization that the only thing that is constant in the universe is change. And here's the interesting part. Change can occur according to the will. As long as you're not blinded by your paradigm, which clouds your thinking and behavior, change can occur under the will. When your will is guided by a paradigm that stems from reason, love, and peace, you manifest those energies in your daily life. If your current paradigm doesn't manifest positivity in your life, it means you're in for a spiritual journey of symbolic death and rebirth, which starts with mindfulness practice and self-love. Back to the example of Jack and Jane. After breaking up for 3 months, in which both of them went on a spiritual journey of self-discovery, which showed them their blind spots, they discovered that their paradigm differences can be reconciled. All they had to do is to allow themselves to see the world from each other's perspective. By realizing that their spiritual and political beliefs could complement each other, Jack and Jane have opened a new chapter in their relationship. built upon a foundation of acceptance and love. Their life took a more wholesome and less one-sided turn. So, when you cling too tightly to your beliefs and fail to recognize the transformative power of paradigm shifts, you get stuck in negative life cycles. To overcome this, you must open your mind's eye by engaging in mindfulness and self-love, allowing you to see beyond your paradigm. Symbols of transformative death and rebirth, such as the phoenix, are reminders to let go of the old and embrace the new. Don't forget to share your positive vibes with us by subscribing to our channel and hitting the like button.